shit means everything to me. Nasty road, there's no telling what's going. Steam. Through the border to my motive, got me working harder than a locomotive, babe. I'm the hero around this bitch. You can save all that complaint. You were saying that I'm a big fish in a small pond. Anyway, I can't help it that I wanna help everybody. Even for myself, no, I'm the first thing himself. Selfless. Go to Hollywood, I got another one.
Greetings, Macadine family, and all those in the listening audience. Hope all is well with you as usual. And I'm just going to dive into the subject, which is the sins of the father. Now, for many, many years, millenniums, there's been talk about the sins of the father. And I think only maybe a book or one movie has ever been dedicated to the sins of the mother. But that's another subject. But the focus is on the sins of the father, because even in religion, I think it's the book of Exodus, it talks about the sins of the father visiting his descendants from 2 to 4 generations. Now that's in religion. But what does sin mean? What is sin? Sin is an ancient Greek word which means to miss the mark. That's all it means, is to miss the mark. And the religionists hijacked the word and put it under the umbrella of a unmerciful God to make you fearful to do what the rulers themselves do. But anyway, sin, it means to miss the mark. Now, when it comes to the sin of the father, the mark of a father is what a son aims for. The father is the biomarker of the son. If there's a disconnection between father and son, if there's no father around, and if that son is being raised by a single mother or even by another man, he's still going to miss the mark. Hence the beginning of the sins of the father, coming from his disconnection from his true father or any father at all. Once that happens, because sin also means to be an heir. It means to miss the mark, but it also means to be an heir. Actually, in the sport of archery, sin means error. And that's actually the actual definition that we ride with in the Macadine. Because once the father is gone, an error has taken place. A sin has taken place. And this sin is going to carry on from that son all the way to the point to where he becomes a father. And hence, that's where the sins have become a contagion. And although scripturally it talks about 2 to 4 generations, sin in that magnitude can go on for aeons, could go on for hundreds of years if it's not corrected. Now that's one way, and the main way that the sins of the father is developed. But the second way is when, even though there's a father and a mother in the home, the mother takes the son and breeds him into her image, as Olympias did to Alexander the Greek. And by the way, please like and subscribe to the Macadine channel. I rarely ask, but please like and subscribe to this channel. So, back to what I was saying about Olympias, the mother of Alexander the Greek, who was married to Philip of Macedonia, whom he had no affection for her. Because number one, she was a lesbian priestess who slept with snakes at night. And once he found out about her sleeping with snakes, he lost all affection for her. So I could just imagine what she was doing with those snakes, as they're doing today. So anyway, she bred Alexander the Greek to be not only the enemy to Philip, but the enemy to men everywhere. That's another avenue of error and sin. Once she put her spirit of feminism, as it would be called today, and lesbianism, he was on his way on a suicide mission, which ended up being just that way. He ended up being a homosexual and ended up being an alcoholic, which, by the way, they say he died from. But we're dealing with the sin of the father, which comes down generation after generation if it's not caught in time. How do you overcome the sins of the father? Somebody has to stand up somewhere down the line and break the cycle. Sometimes it never happens or appears to never happen. But someone amongst the tribe has to stand up and say no more and break the negative cycle. Otherwise, once again, it's going to keep on continuing and continuing and continuing. But we know that this can be undone, but it takes tremendous discipline and tremendous tenacity and dedication to the cause, because the sins of the father have been not only saturated in our communities, but at the same time, the sins of the father aren't as great as they have been amplified into, because we know who the real devil is, and we know who the majority of boys are following today, and that is the leadership and guidance of women. So we have to first break that tie and become self-taught and self-guided, and then we can begin the process of healing the sins of the father and doing away with the sins of the mother and the sins of the children. But it's on us, brothers. Stand on the square and let's get the correction taking place. More later. Peace.